Hi, David.
Hi, Sarah.
It's the holidays coming up, Christmas for some people, maybe other holidays for other people, but it's, I think, a good time to talk about receiving. In my work around money, it's a really common topic. There's a
Yep.
big thing that people have about receiving, and around giving of gifts and around highly sensitive people, of course. I think that it's also a really big topic. We see that all the time. So I would love to start off by hearing a little bit of your pre-Christmas thoughts on being highly sensitive and actually receiving gifts from people who love you.
Well, for HSPs, um, Christmas sort of pushes our buttons a little bit. It's not the worst time because most HSPs will be aware that birthdays are the really, really hard one. And that's the one where we tell everybody to basically where to go because we're the center of the attention. Everybody sends all their energy to us, and it's like, oh, but I can't give, I can't give, I can't give, I got to be able to give. And then we get all antsy about it, and then we actually get the shits really severely. So Christmas time, we need to learn how to receive, don't we? And it's such I mean it is such a strange topic to think that we can't receive, but it is so bloody true. It's ironic. It's totally and utterly crazy that highly sensitive people are so bad at receiving, but we are. Until
And
we've done the work,
and
we
and
can
I
be. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah. No, I think that it's worth pointing out the really, really simple and obvious thing before we get into all
Mm.
the energetics of it,
Yep.
is that if we have a world that's full of people giving, but no one's able to receive, it just doesn't function at all. It's a really obvious thing to say, but I think it is worth saying again, because if it gives you pleasure to give to somebody, presumably you're expecting them to experience some pleasure in receiving your gift. You don't give them the gift so they can say, oh no, I don't want that, thank you, I don't need it, just, I'm fine as I am. You want them to receive it as generously as you give it. And it is worth remembering that, because otherwise it's become like we're going to become the control freaks of giving. Like, we control who gives, when they give, what they give, to whom they give, because giving is only acceptable in certain situations. And that's kind of like a nonsense when you start to think it out.
It is totally, and it means that you're basically putting really severe conditions on your acceptance of how you react and respond with people because we're used to a give and take, but sometimes highly sensitive people are a little bit more aware that sometimes because of the old harsh physical energy of give um, it's like when somebody gives, highly sensitive people are expecting, oh yeah, they're giving me something, but they want 10 times more in return. But you still got to participate because don't remember, there's a lot of you who've all done all these workshops, and um, you're not in the same old genre. So you've got to remember that you've done a lot of work. For a lot of people who are watching this, you've all done that work. It's not going to be the same thing. So you've got to just open yourselves up and be ready to receive because exactly as Sarah said, it is about joy. It's so much fun to be able to give something to somebody who we all go to a lot of, we go to a lot of time, and it's just not about how much, it's not about how much something costs. It's that you've really, 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 really thought about something for a damn long time. And sometimes we've gone to a lot of trouble, and as well as sometimes we've really put our hearts into a lot of things and made something. These days, just to get something, it's not easy, especially at the moment. You've really got to board ahead for a lot of things because otherwise you've missed out. So, and being able to, and
So I'm just
yeah, sorry, go
uh,
on.
We've got a little bit of an internet thing. It's not the best internet today, but I'm just recognizing that, especially when I was younger, that kind of love that I poured into buying presents for people or making things and wrapping them beautifully and all of that stuff, that was actually kind of somehow, because that's part of that being highly sensitive. I never really understood the thing of just like going out and buying something that nobody really wanted and wrapping it up with something fancy so that there's a gift. It always had to be really suitable for the person. Everything kind of just right. I guess that's all part of the territory, isn't
and
it?
especially with family, there's so many funny things that go in with family. I remember when my nieces were young, and I remember once the paper tore when I was wrapping it up, and it used to be like holy anticipation longer for the kids, when they couldn't get into it quite so easily. And my youngest was she was a little terror, so I used to make it as hard as I could. And then I remember once I thought, damn it, I'm going to wrap it all up. So I had the real wide clear sellotape and I went right around it, but I went around it quite a few times. And then even as she got older, I remember a few years ago when I gave her something that was a little bit fragile, so I didn't wrap it up quite so harshly, and she says, what, not loving me anymore? So it's like, people, because you went to so much trouble, and it basically it prolonged the anticipation of opening everything, and for somebody, it's just a version of love, it's funny that kids actually took that on board as that, and I almost make it really hard for kids to get into their presents these days, and it hasn't stopped, even though they're in their 30s. So, but it's,
so there's a really interesting thing here is that this is a very fascinating thing, I think, that we set out to talk about receiving, and here we are, we've spent the first 5 or 10 minutes of this video talking about giving.
Yeah.
We're being classic examples of exactly what we're talking about. It's like, oh yeah, let's totally indulge in how amazing the whole giving thing is. Okay, let's talk about receiving, David. Let's try to stay on topic.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we do have to be open to that, and let's do a little bit of energy work just to make sure that we're ready and open to sharing. And it's just getting our sharing energy moving a little bit more, making sure that we're going into our own energy. And because remember, when we're using neutral energy, it has to be send, receive, equal, equal, equal. It's because it's sharing. The whole thing about neutral energy is sharing, and that's how we can amp up the power and actually make probably the receiving as enjoyable as what we should, because otherwise it's like you're not allowing yourself to be as worthwhile. Yeah. And because often we've had a lot of little, it's one of those things that we've had in our spiritual DNA. We have little things sometimes that push certain things that make it a little bit harder to receive. But when we're doing our neutral energy exercises, it does just allow us to receive just a little bit easier. Yeah. And let's face it, receiving from someone you absolutely love, it should be a joy for you, yeah. And it's the biggest way to show you really love somebody, by getting damn well excited about what you're receiving, So let's get in and do a little bit of energy work just to make sure that we can receive, allow ourselves to receive, enjoy that receiving, and we'll also be doing a little bit of a flowing energy prayer in that as well. So let's get stuck into it, I think. Okay. So
okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. So everybody, We don't have to stand up. All you have to do is put your hands on the front of your legs, please, but right on your kneecaps. Hands on your kneecaps. We're closing our eyes. We're just going to hold this energy just for a few moments, okay? Just holding this energy for a few moments as you share intuition, instinct throughout your whole entire body. You're beginning to scan what is your own personal energy, finding the importance of sharing firstly within yourself. And some of you may notice that you start to ground just a little bit. Go down. There you go. Going down, going down, going down. Keep going. Because we're moving into sharing mode. That's it. And just a little bit deeper. Perfect. And just listen. I now find all personal self-acceptance, acceptance of peace of who I am, as I share with this world who all that I are, all that I am, with grace, with dignity, with true inspiration of life, with my total neutral ethics, with my total neutral reaction and response. I'll learn how to share with absolute dignity, harmony, grace, acceptance, and embrace those of whom I love with the absolute gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and thankfulness for all that they desire to share with myself in neutral harmony and in grace. I accept all neutral tolerances and I accept all love that this person is capable of sharing with me, because I know we are all accepting each and every other for who they are, how they are, where they are, and why they are in our lives. Therefore, we totally accept, and we have total not just acceptance, but appreciation for all those that we have in our lives. And so with this acceptance, we now bring our hands to a prayer position. We lock in all acceptance of love, of being able to see, receive, being able to share, being able to react and respond with absolute humility, humanitarianness, and graceful love of all acceptances. And know that the love that is sent our way is an absolute generosity of someone's innermost and deepest thoughts through all soul, through all heart, through all life that they desire to share with us. And we should be grateful and have gratitude for each and every person who is in our lives, because this is the true meaning of life. Just having those amazing people who would share their true lives with us. All simply is, and so it is. Just move your hands now to cross the shoulders, please. And the energy of that flowing prayer will just slowly generate through you. It's making sure that we use our soul and heart in absolute accord of 50-50, meaning that we share. We move our arms the other way, please. You will notice that there is a new gravity for those who are highly sensitive locking in around us. It holds in love. It holds in acceptance. It holds in sharing. It tells those who have gone to a lot of trouble to share with us that we completely and totally and easily share and receive all acceptances of their love, of their appreciation, of their gratitude, with absolute compassion. For what we are doing now is we are powering up all acceptances. We are powering up all sharing. We are powering up not just acceptance, the true enlightenment of that we share within each other, which of course goes to a deeper version of our soul and our heart and lets everybody know that we are truly of an appreciation. Hands back to a prayer position, please. This appreciation, this gratitude, this compassion, all that we are completely and absolutely thankful for, all simply is. Just clasp your hands now behind the back of your head. We're making sure that all our processes throughout our whole body are working. That means that we share our processes with everybody to know that we share this love, that we share this acceptance, and we are receiving. And we're highlighting how we receive. Hands to the top of your head, please. We're also opening many different processes that are essential for highly sensitive people to just know that all those what might seem simple to somebody, but always go completely noticed. You have to notice what someone has gone to immense trouble in what may be the simplest but totally thoughtful manner for which we need to receive. Hands on the front of your forehead, please. With grace, with love, with presence. And it is all about presence at this moment, because we're only present now in all that is received, with all whom are present in this life. All simply is, and so it is. Hands to a prayer position, please. Lock it in. You may notice that you're grounding. It means that we hold this presence and share it with those whom we are receiving. And we receive the complete love that we should, with total ease, with every point of our capacity. It means that all our capacity is opening now to receive. Again, hands back to shoulders. Cross the other way. Back to a prayer. as we open all evolved capacities to receive, to nurture, to cherish all those who receive with us. All simply is. And so it is. Again, hands onto shoulders. The opposite way, please. Back to prayer. Everybody just bring your hands up like 2 stop signs, please. As we share, as we receive, as we receive, as we share. All simply is received with absolute gratitude, compassion, and thankfulness of love. All simply is. Hands back to a prayer. All simply is fulfilled. And so it is. Just open your eyes, everyone. And we're all done. Some of you might notice a lot of that goes deep into your emotions and feelings, because it just reminds us that sometimes we really are fortunate. And if someone is to basically receive with us, boy, how fortunate are you? Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. I think that's all we need for this particular one.
I think that's about it for learning to receive.